What's up? Happy Walking Dead Day.
Oh yeah, let's go.
I don't know why I hear stuff in the background. It's a nice way to start the live. What's going on, man? Episode 2, Walking Dead, dude. Or what? Actually, what is it? The Ones Who Live. You know, it's
The
funny.
Ones Who Live, yeah.
It's funny. Did you watch Screen Crush? Because he drops it like 15 hours ago. His review.
No, I haven't. No.
It is kind of funny what he said in his little recap. And I kind of was thinking about that, and it's definitely true. I think. When I want to say it's like in season 3 or something, Rick says, we are the Walking Dead. Like, because I don't know if season 3 was when they were trying to figure out, they were going from the farm, and I think that's to the prison, if I remember correctly. And as we're traveling to try to find a new location to live, he goes, "We are the Walking Dead," and talking about them, like they're the ones who are always walking, and they're basically just walking, and they're eventually going to be dead anyways. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, and now they're the ones who live.
And now they're the ones who live. Yeah, So I thought it was kind of a funny little thing, and I kind of agreed with it a lot. So, but
we're on a Michonne. We're on a Michonne.
We're on a Michonne this episode. So last week we had the Rick episode, and this week we have the Michonne episode, and I liked it. I thought last week was a little bit better just because we learned more about Johnny. What's up, Johnny? We learned a little bit more about like our actual I don't want to say enemy or the conflict. Where this episode we definitely saw Michonne have to battle with these people as well without really knowing, just in a different way. And then we kind of see where it went as far as them hooking up at the end of this episode 1, and then we got a little bit more, and that was when I was really interested. And the backstory was fine. It was good. We have some pretty good characters, and
I like the similarities between the Rick and Michonne episode was she was with a camp that didn't want her to leave, just like the CRM don't want Rick to leave. And they can see that they wanted to use her for her abilities because she's good at what she does.
Yeah.
And then they even full circle that kind of thing at the end, which I'm sure we'll get to later. But the character at the end with the big face off with Rick, I think she's happy with just Rick being where he is because I think she's safe that he won't leave. But when Michonne's with him, they're unstoppable. And I think that's why when she sees that Michonne's there, it's like, oh, hang on a minute, I need to have something to do with this.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's the way they're doing this show is interesting right now, and I think it's going to change now because they kind of had their own standalone episodes, kind of. Because like we've met some people in both episodes, some have made it out, some haven't, and I'm trying to figure out obviously we have Rick and Michonne, like, okay, those are the main characters, but I mean, you can't have a show with only 2 people, really, and I feel like that's almost kind of what we're at right now. Is like I think
that's what we will have.
Yeah, but I mean, even like with Daryl, I mean, you still had a bunch of handful of characters that were like somewhat important. I feel like right now none of them are important except for those 2.
Well, no, you've got Jadis, you've got the captain guy at the end on the CRM.
Yeah, I know. Okay, yeah. I mean, we have that. They're like, again, if they're the I don't like using the word bad guy, but if maybe I like to use the word conflict. Keep up the great work. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it, man. Did you watch my Emperor Palpatine video that I dropped over the weekend? Dude, that one took me a long time. I wish the views were better on it, but it's all good. Anyways, thank you, Johnny. Appreciate it, brother. But coming back to what we were talking about, I just think that I don't know. I know Thorne will probably be somewhat important. Here's my problem, Ryan. I made the mistake. I couldn't remember the name of the episode. I went to IMDb, and then I started looking at the cast, and I saw how many episodes some of these people are in, and I made the mistake of doing that, and now I'm just like,
Yeah, when you know we only have 6 episodes and some say
I
3,
know,
you're like, oh damn
I
it.
know, I know, and that's so I'm not going to say anything, but I was a little disappointed that in myself that I did that because I try not to do that kind of stuff. But I really could not figure out. I couldn't remember the name of the episode, and then I was trying to figure out the one character's name, and they weren't even in it. So, but all right, well we'll pull this up here, guys. Don't forget to so you can sign up for channel memberships. Also, if you look at the QR codes, we moved them up. So now you can go right to our Instagram. All right, let's
Hey, Poppin, good to see you, buddy. He says great show and episode. I know he really enjoyed this episode.
What's up, Poppin? Oh yeah, Kenneth. Oh, I'm just now seeing all these comments. I'm not sure what's going on over here. What's up, Blaze and Kenneth Bird? How you guys doing?
You finally found the comment section, bro.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Like it was so weird. It was like I don't know if I had scrolled down or something. I don't know. It's weird on my side. All right. But anyways, so we have episode 2 called Gone, and yeah, so this is the Michonne episode. So we have Michonne, and so the very first scene that we see in the episode I thought was really cool. That little zombie walking again, more fire. I feel fire is it's a big theme here. But we see the fire, the zombie. He's carrying all the gas tanks or whatever, and so you just know that dude's getting blown up at some point. Like you just knew that was coming. But that was a pretty cool little opening, and we see Michonne right in the beginning of the episode, and she has found this group. And actually, I think it was at the end of was it the end of the finale, or the Walking Dead finale, when she actually sees those 2 people?
Yes, I believe it does connect to the end of the finale or the episode.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, when they were teasing the show, I'm pretty sure those are the same 2 people. And we'll find out that it's Bailey and Aiden, and they're 2 people, and this is how she got linked up with this group. It's kind of funny when you're seeing the opening sequence, and she's talking to whoever his leader is, some female. I don't even know if we ever got a name from her or not, but she's talking to her, and she rescued us. She wants a horse because she told him that she's heading out toward what is it, Bridger or what was it called? I wrote it down.
I don't know the name of the town.
Yeah, I have it. But anyways, so she's headed out here because she's trying to find someone, basically is what she says. And it's driving me crazy, dude. I wrote it down on purpose because I didn't want to forget it. And of course, what I do, forget it. Let's see. She is heading toward the Bridger Shipyard. And then we obviously see that later in the episode. But she tells her that she's trying to find somebody, and she just wants to borrow a horse. And she kind of gave her a hard time about it. I didn't like that lady. I don't know. What do you think?
She was trying to keep her there, wasn't she? She was trying to do everything in her power to just come up with an excuse to keep her there. You could tell everyone else in the room was like, look, just let this woman go. She's helped us. And she was like, maybe we can keep you. We can use you a little bit longer. You're really helpful and really skillful. And yeah,
I found her super.
Michonne's just got one power though.
Yeah, and that's true. And then finally, then we get to see what's his name? Nat. I think it's Nat, right?
Nat. Yeah, my favorite character of the episode.
Yeah, Nat comes storming in, and he's trying to figure out so the girl that Michonne rescued with her I don't know if it was her husband or her boyfriend or whatever it would be, but it was actually the leader's sister is who she actually found. And Nat comes in wondering where she was, and then he kind of turns around. She's sitting right there. So I thought that was kind of funny. He comes storming in, doesn't even see her.
Yeah.
But basically, the long story short, they keep going, and they end up getting she ends up getting the horse. And so there's Nat right there. What's up, Simon? How you doing, brother?
Hey, Simon.
And then here's
I got very Western cowboy vibes. I don't know if you got all that vibes, but
Oh
He's
yeah, I
wearing
mean,
like a cowboy hat.
mhm,
They're traveling in like a condo together.
yep.
They've got horses and things like that. And I think even at one scene she was telling a speech and there was the stars and stripes behind her and stuff, and it was just very like traveler-esque. But I got that theme all the way through it.
The other thing too with this is Michonne did not. She got bad vibes from the group as well because one of the things that they had talked about is how because this literally is a caravan. They just keep moving and
Yeah.
they leave a lot of people behind. Like if people don't come back, they just leave. And I think that was
Mhm.
one of the big issues that Nat came running in because he's like, "Why do we keep moving? Your sister's not even back yet," And I think so he was frustrated with her about that,
Yeah.
and but so that's one of the things that I think that Michonne really did not like because you could tell she was just like, listen, just give me a horse, or I can just go. It's no skin off my back. So
Yes, Bob, and gnats, as in a little gnat that is always buzzing around. Yeah.
yeah, yep. Um, so she takes her horse out and she runs into this really small roadblock. And they
Yeah.
had warned her. They did warn her that I guess like I don't know the exact reason. There was a specific reason why at this time of year the horde decided to travel south, and she's trying to go north. Um, I don't. I don't know how
I
important that
don't
is.
exactly remember.
Yeah, they had mentioned it, but she obviously runs right into him, and at this point she doesn't really know what to do. But she does see Gas Can Boy. Gas Pan is walking around there, and she does fire off. So Nat I guess Nat is I don't know. They said he did something in his like, when before this all happened, he was like I don't know. He was able to build
He's the
like
Eugene of this series.
yeah, think of Eugene from the old series. He was kind of like the Eugene. Like he was able to create different things. So he created these missiles or whatever you want to call them. And so he ended up giving her a couple of. So she fires one off in there, and she hits Gas Can Boy, and he blows up, and he knocks her off the horse and everything. And then all of a sudden, it's like the Great Sea is parting. The
Yeah.
party of the Dead Sea here. So we see then behind her, it was Bailey and Nat and a couple of the other people and Aiden and all those dudes. And what they did is they sent off these two, like, I don't even know what it was, like two smoke signals or something, or started two
Two
fires
alarms.
or something. Yeah, it was like purple, and I don't even know what it was, but the horde basically split in half. Luckily it was right in front of her. I'm like, okay. So so the horde kind of separates and goes to each side of these. I don't know, was it a flame or I don't even know what it was. Like I said, an
It was
alarm, but I
just an
know it
explosion of something, wasn't
was
it? Yeah, it was
some
like a
type of
dust cloud.
some type of explosion. But so they decided that they're going to go with her, and they convince her to kind of stay overnight and kind of like they'll take off in the morning. And then during this conversation, while they're eating, they found out that Aiden is pregnant, or Michonne finds out that Aiden is pregnant. I don't think that Bailey knew this, right? I got under the impression like nobody was supposed to
Yeah,
know that. Yeah.
I got the impression it
So
was a shock.
yeah, it was kind of a shock, and yeah. So basically, she's pregnant. The other two were not at the camp at that point, so they still don't know. So the next morning they head off, and they're just kind of walking, and they see one of those helicopters that we saw last week, and they're kind of like it's kind of flying over their heads, and then all of a sudden it just kind of stops in midair and just turns, and like you just know it's not going to be good. Like you just know it's not going to be good. And what do they do? Chlorine gas, apparently. Apparently they're firing up chlorine gas.
Okay.
So apparently what this does is it gets into your throat and you have a hard time breathing. And apparently it also bloodshot your eyes. And if you get too much of it, I guess, because like some of them got a lot worse than others, I thought. We'll see that in a minute, but I mean, I don't know. What is your experience with chlorine gas?
I haven't had any experience with it, but I was super freaked out with it. And my biggest thing was, are we going to see mutated zombies that can survive in these things?
Yeah.
And like maybe if you shoot them in the head, their head blows up with this kind of stuff. And then we're getting into like the Last of Us territory with those kind of stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I've never had any experience with chlorine gas, but it was a good way to bring in a different danger.
Yeah. I
You know,
didn't even know that chlorine gas was a thing.
well,
Like I didn't
anything
even
can be
know,
in
or
anything
I
in a
didn't even know.
TV show.
Yeah, I didn't even know chlorine can become a gas. I mean, I guess anything can become a gas if you do it
Any
right.
chemical can be turned into any form of liquid or gas or anything on it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's yeah. I mean, it was kind of something cool and different. Like it's cool. This is a great shot. And then you got some fighting inside the gas. It was hard to see, a little bit hard to see. You kind of saw shadows, but she's taking out
I
some of
thought
these
my screen
walkers.
was broke, to be honest, because it was all yellow, and I'm like, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
Thought I had a TikTok filter over my episode.
So they fight off some of the zombies or the walkers, whatever you want to call them, and they end up. I'm not even sure what they got into. I guess some type of store. Yeah, that's what this sort of looks
Yeah,
like to me. I don't know if it's like a furniture store or so I guess that was pretty lucky because they ended up finding obviously a bed right there, and yeah, so they are in pretty bad shape. Bailey and Aiden don't look great. I think Aiden probably got the worst of it. At least that's what it looked like on screen because she was really, really a mess. Nat, he wasn't looking great. His face was really torn up in the front, and
that was horrible.
yeah, and Michonne wasn't looking great either. But Bailey, I would say, got the worst of it. And again, Aiden too, for the most part. But and then it's funny because they're with other people. Like it's not just the four of them, but they're the only four that go into this place because I guess they did kind of get separated once the gas is fell. Now, here's my
Yeah,
question for you: some of the zombies, they were like picking up themselves off the floor. Were they getting dropped too from the helicopter or from wherever they dropped? Were they dropped in with that gas?
well, that's a good observation. I didn't
I,
actually pick up on that. No, I'd have to
I
rewatch that.
yeah, I
But I
thought I
remember some
saw.
zombies standing up.
Yeah, they were like standing up, and now maybe they were. I don't know why they've been knocked down from gas because no one else was
Would they have
knocked
been
down.
knocked down by the blades of the helicopter wind?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't think the helicopter was that close to them. They're
I
still
thought it was
pretty.
just above the building, but I get your point.
Yeah,
They could
yeah.
have chucked him in with them.
I was a little confused on that because I was not sure if they actually were dropped into or not. But yeah. Let's
Did
see.
anybody else have that thought when they watched it?
Yeah, let us know what you guys
Anyone in
think.
the chat?
I also put a poll in the chat, which we'll touch base in a little later on. So let us know what you thought of the episode overall. So Michonne goes out, and she basically, where does she go? I guess she goes to try to find oxygen masks and that kind of stuff. She's trying to because they need to get oxygen because it is a respiratory issue. But basically, when she comes back, yep, you know what's going to happen here. So this is Bailey. Michonne does not look too happy. So we have Walker, or I'm sorry, Aiden. That was Aiden. Walker Aiden is now a zombie, unfortunately. So she takes care of her, and then she goes to look for Bailey, and we have Walker Bailey. So we lose both of them. Yeah, so we lose both. We don't know where Nate is, but we do see that Nate eventually, when she takes out Bailey here, we see Nate is kind of hiding behind the glass or whatever, the perfume or whatever the heck that is. And he does not look good, but he is speaking to her, so she knows that he has not died. And I don't know.
He
I was
also
glad.
felt comfortable within the flames because he's playing with a lighter all episode. He likes to burn things and he likes to set things on fire, and he was
Yeah,
comfortable within the flames. That's why you can see things are on fire.
yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah, it's a good symbolic thing.
and he does make mention to Michonne, thanks for doing that because I couldn't. Like he literally couldn't do it because it's like who knows how long they've been friends or whatever.
Yeah,
It's the same thing that we saw early in The Walking Dead when he used to hate killing their friends when they were actually turned into zombies. And then like I felt like later in the seasons, I just felt like, okay, just kill him. Like it didn't matter. Like there was no emotion, and that's one of the issues that Walking Dead had as it was on for whatever 12 years or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the we have the Rocky montage coming up. You ever see Rocky?
Of course.
Okay, so we have the Rocky montage where we get the gas mask or the oxygen mask on. Her and Nat are healing up. She starts doing her push-ups. She's got her water jugs. They eat some food. So I don't know how much time passed. I mean, what? I would think it's had to be at least a week. No?
Yeah.
Less?
About a couple of days, I thought.
Couple of days? All right. I mean, it's just like they were in really bad shape. And then when they leave, it's like nothing ever happened to them.
But at least it gave us those scenes, because sometimes some shows won't even offer to do that. They'd be in one point and then the other.
No, it was fine. It was like not even 2 minutes long, probably. So the next morning, then, when they're all healed up, they did their push-ups, they did the sit-ups, they take off, and they're heading over to Bridger's Shipyard, and that's what this is. And it's hard to see on the image, but it does say safe harbor. And I don't have images of this, so we'll kind of just talk about it. But they see nothing but piles of dead, burnt bodies. And Michonne is in a real bad place here because do you remember why she's going here? Do you remember this?
Because Rick's boots are there.
Yeah. Well, yes. But remember, she found it on the ship log. She found it's it was located, I think this is Virginia. It was she found the address.
Because he was on. Remember when they did the flashback at the end of the season, and he was on the boat, and then he took his shoes off, and he was writing his notes.
Yep.
I don't know if that's what she was reading that letter, because it was just all about letters back and forth, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think it was actually in the ship log that she found. I don't think Rick actually wrote it, but I think it was like open. I can't remember exactly. I know it was in season. Well, Michonne's last season was 10, I think. So it was probably at the halfway point or something like that. But yeah, that's why she was headed there the whole time. Yeah. I
think I might have mistakenly thought that this was the cruise ship that we see in Fear the Walking Dead. I don't know if it is.
That I don't know. Because
it looks like a cruise ship, but yeah.
Oh, it does look like a cruise ship.
That's good, Anthony.
What's up, Blaze? So once they arrive there, they find all those dead bodies. And I think at this point, and they have a really in Rick's boot. We talked a little bit about that, but we find out, man, she's in a bad way. She is crying. She doesn't even know what to think. And actually, it's Nat who kind of turns her around a little bit, saying, "Listen, you've come this far. He's probably still okay. Like just because you see these piles of body, because I think she thought he was gone. I think that she was lost. She didn't know what to do at this point. And because the whole episode they've been telling her to just turn around and go back to the kids. And at this point, Nat is the one who says, "No, we need to continue on. I think you're right. I think he is alive." So I thought it was an interesting turn because so many times he's already told her to just turn around and go. I mean, I thought it was pretty cool.
I also think with her finding the bodies and having charred faces and stuff, I think it gave her a thought of, I could have already passed him. How do I know that I just haven't missed him and he's dead already and he's been in a pile 3 days ago?
Yeah.
And I think I was just getting to her that she could have just missed him. But I agree, Nat was the linchpin in this episode that got him to meet. Without Nat, they would never have got there. In many ways.
Yeah, I mean, in the way she's hugging the boot too, it was real quick, but
so she's got left of him.
Yeah, I mean, it was. Yeah, I was like, wow. I mean, it's pretty powerful stuff, pretty powerful. So the next day they take off, and they are. It's kind of cool. They have the she had made one of her zombies, right, or one of her walkers with the arms cut off and the mouth sliced, and he's the one who's actually carrying the gear, which I thought was kind of funny. And then we have then he hears something, Nat hears something, and it's one of the helicopters. And going back to the first episode, so all these little things you see sticking out of his backpack, those are like those homemade missile things he's making, right? And he fires off the first one. And so we know what happens because we saw last week. Well, when he fires it off, he thinks it's a dud. That's because it's stuck right into my boy Okaro up there. Or Okafor. What is it? Okaro?
Okaro or something, yeah. Okafor.
Yeah. Okafor. So that's why I made the little circle with my little arrow diagram. Like, that's the thing that hits him. And there's a reason why he doesn't hit the airplane, because he was too good of a shot almost. So I thought that was fun.
When he did this, I was literally bouncing in my seat. I was like, yes, this is sick. But I do have a question.
Yeah.
How did the guy that's half the size of the woman hear the noise that was in the sky first? His ears are at a lower level than hers.
I have no idea. No idea.
Maybe he has a heightened sense of hearing because he has a shortened sense of stature. I don't know. But yeah, I questioned it. I was like, how did you hear it? And Michonne didn't.
This dude's my spirit animal. He's like a little engine that could. Nothing will hold me back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Loved him.
All right, Blaze. We're giving Blaze nightmares. We're giving him nightmares. Bro, it's fake, right?
Walking Dead, bro.
So he takes another shot, and then we have Black Hawk Down. Ever see that movie? It's a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
There you go. Steve Poppin explained it.
Okay.
All right. So then at this point, we kind of have the whole scene, but from Michonne's point of view, and as she's going through. Now, here's the cool thing. I could have sworn, and I would have to go back and rewatch it, but as she is going up to him before she knows that's Rick, she is actually taking off their helmets. I was wondering that because last week I didn't think she was doing that.
Yeah, she was.
Did you actually see her doing that?
Yeah, in the first episode, yeah. At the end when the helicopter crashes and they get attacked. You do see
I must have missed it because when I was like when she gets to him, and of course, and then he blocks her with the hand, and then she takes his helmet off. And I'm thinking, why are you taking just that helmet off? I didn't see you take anyone else's helmet off. So maybe I missed it. Maybe because it is kind of in the background.
She's making a point of looking into the eyes of everyone she kills to make sure that she finds him.
Right, exactly. And I get that now. But like last week, I did not think she was doing that. But obviously, you're saying that she was doing it.
Yeah, she definitely was.
Okay. All right. So we get the amazing reunion. This was like 3-4 minutes of them looking at each other's eyes, hugging, kissing. But yeah, I mean, this is, now do you think, obviously we know that we saw it last week, but now it's real because now we see where it goes. How do you feel about them like hooking back together already this quickly in the show? Did you originally going in thinking it was going to be like 4 or 5 episodes in before they would do this, or what do you think?
I think it's perfect. Joe made a statement. It's like Ahsoka. We had to introduce the characters in the first episode of Ahsoka, and then we had to have the other side of the people in the second, and then the story went going forward from there. I think with this, it's done exactly the same. Yeah. We got Rick, we got Michonne. Now we're going to get the story going forward, and we got a couple of characters twinkled in the first 2 just to keep us interested going forward. That's why we lost the main characters in this episode, because we've got enough going forward with the Rick stuff.
Right.
And they couldn't go with Michonne to the camp.
Yeah. Listen, it's only 6 episodes. Like
there'll be more.
Right. And there's only 4 episodes left. I mean, and we probably will continue at some point, but I'm saying just for this series, you had to do this. Like I want to see them together. That's the whole point of the show.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm glad the way they did this first 2 episodes. I think it was really cool. And I'm also very happy that like this is only about the halfway point of the episode, maybe just a little bit past the halfway point. So we're getting left. Right. We're still going to get more, which I love, because I'll tell you what, once they did this part, and it kind of like it kind of finished up, and then we'll see what happens next. But after that next main scene, it turned black, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's it for the episode. And then we had like another 15 minutes. I was like, beautiful, let's go.
Yeah, and I was intrigued with how this was going to go, like where they were going to go from here, because Rick's obviously under lock and key and being watched and everything. So it was interesting how they did it. Some things I don't agree with, but we'll get onto it as we go through the slides.
Yeah, well, I think the next slide you're not going to like.
Oh,
so this is brutal. Listen, when I first started watching the episode, I kind of figured they're all going to die, those main people. Now, granted, when Michonne went off on her own, I was like, oh, maybe they're just like, whatever. But
stranded.
Right. Maybe they're just like there just to kind of help her lead on to the next thing. But when they came back, I kind of figured they were. But when he was this far with them, I was not expecting this. This was a little brutal. I was not expecting it.
So physically out loud.
Yeah.
No, literally the same thing you have there. No, it was Darth Vader's. No. I hated it, bro. And I applaud AMC because you introduced me to a character in this episode, and you made me feel for him by the end of it.
Yeah.
Some of your characters that you made me follow through 12 years, I don't care about.
I know. It's all about the writing. It's all about the writing. I mean, you're right. Like how many people died in that final episode? I couldn't even tell you who died because it didn't matter.
And this isn't a joke on small people, but there was somebody called Willow in this episode, and it wasn't the small guy.
But yeah, so unfortunately he gets shot by one of the guys. So it wasn't one of the two that she cut that we saw her. It must have been like the first batch of guys or something that they shot, and he just fell over like Rick did, and he was still happened to be alive, I guess. I don't know. It was pretty awful. Pretty awful.
It was terrifying.
Yeah, so R.I.P. Nat. Yeah, it's too bad. So between that and this scene right here, there's actually a lot that goes on. So Rick knows they're coming back, right? He knows, and he tells her so much stuff. Like if I was her, I'd be like, wait, what's happening now? So first he tries to explain to her that he is not actually part of the CPM. He's not CRM. He's not part of them. He's kind of more or less, he's just doing what he's got to do to survive at this point. And he tells her, don't tell him about the sword. They actually put her sword in Nat's hand to make it look like that was his, which is a little.
That's where I disagree.
It was a little ridiculous.
If Rick was really had his head clued on, he would have threw the sword because he knows who's at camp.
Yeah.
The returning character from the original show. He knows that person knows Michonne. So why would you have a samurai found in a dead body if you're trying to hide who Michonne is? Yeah. Doesn't make any sense to me. You should have just threw it.
Well, you know what's also strange is that so he asks her, what do you have that could lead people to Alexandria? And she's like, well, I have a journal. There's a couple things she mentions. I can't remember all of them. There's like 3 or 4 things though. And then it looks like they go and just put them on that cart that they've been traveling around with. Like, why would you put them there? Like, I was confused on that.
They probably go back to them.
What'd you say?
I don't know. They probably go back to them if they get a chance.
Yeah, but like, you don't think people are going to come out back to this area and see all these dead bodies and trying to figure out what's going on? Kind of like at the end of the episode, like when we do find out, she's like, this is kind of like an investigation. Like, because that's what they're trying to do is they're trying to have they're trying to make people, what's the word I'm looking for, Ryan? They're trying to have people,
enlist?
Not enlist. Oh my gosh, I can't think of the word I want. Basically do time for their crimes. They're trying. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly right. So I don't know why they wouldn't like either just trying to bury that stuff or I mean, maybe there just wasn't enough time. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to see, but in real time, like how much time they actually had. But I just thought it was kind of strange.
Yeah.
So Poppin thinks that they stashed it later on.
Yeah, I
I mean,
think
why
we'll
would you
probably
not?
come back round to it.
So they stashed it, thinking that they weren't going to find it. Why would you not just put the sword on it? Well, they had to do something though, because she slit the throats. And I
Yeah,
mean,
I would have just not bothered with little trinkets of home. I would have just got rid of them, knowing that I've now found Rick and now I can get home together.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, I
Why do I
mean,
need a photograph of my kids? I've got memories, and I've got the man that made them with me.
yeah. But then, so he's basically like, we're gonna have to go back, and then he's like, I promise. He made a bunch of promises saying that he's gonna get him out of there eventually. So he also tells her not to tell them her real name. Don't call them walkers, because that's what he called them when he first got taken there. So don't call them the same thing. A couple other things too, like just don't show them how you're a strong person. They don't want another personality, because what do they say? A's, or the personality
A's and B's.
follow. Yeah, the personality of B follows the A's or whatever. So
yeah, A's are leaders, B's are followers.
Yeah. So they go back and they are interviewing her. I think she knocked it out of the park, dude. I thought it was great. Like if I didn't know her, I would not have known she was lying. Like I thought all her answers made sense. She repeated a couple words over and over again to kind of like, make sure they understood that she was not with other people, and she was, but not for a long time. So I think she says a long time a couple different times. Yeah, I mean,
like how she explained
I
how
thought
she survived on her own, and she'd lost her weapons and all this kind of stuff. It was good.
Yeah, and then
Very
she
convincing.
even looks through the window, and she says, they ask her like, are you nervous because you're being interviewed? And she's like, no, I just haven't seen myself in a very long time. So I thought that was a great answer too. I mean, obviously she knew that someone was back there.
Well, she was hoping that she was looking at Rick.
Yeah. But but I thought the interview thing was kind of I thought it was a good scene. It was short.
Loved it.
But I think it was good. I think it was well done.
It was a fantastic vessel to get us from A to B, pardon the pun. But we needed it to make her transition into the place, because if the next scene was her just walking around the place freely, then it wouldn't have made any sense.
True. So then we see her that she gets her stripes, and so she's kind of been initiated into the training program now, and I think that's gonna carry on in the next episode. So we see her walking, and we see Rick behind her and kind of grabs her by the arm in his full costume or outfit, whatever you want to call it. And they kind of go into this area where there's these Jeeps and whatever's in there. And this is an
Titanic kind of scene. I was expecting the hand on the glass window, but we didn't get that far.
That's right. But this is an interesting scene because they kind of have a little argument. They have a couple arguments. But the couple things happen. So number one, he does give back Michonne Nat's lighter, which we can actually go forward now. So it says danger on it. So she gets that back, and then we also hear him asking about Judith and everything, and she almost slips up and tells him about RJ, but she doesn't do it. She doesn't do it because he even says,
doesn't give him more false hope.
Yeah. What else would? Yeah, she didn't want to tell him about him. So I think that was pretty interesting.
Judith is fine. She's us, as in me and you, and that's it for now. It was very, very interesting that she didn't find out about RJ, or she didn't explain about RJ. And I'm glad that you've now caught up with the RJ stuff, because I know last week we were a bit clueless with it. But
I couldn't remember that at all. But that was interesting. And then she does. Not they have a big argument. It's a small argument about just like what exactly is the plan. So he tries to explain it all out to her, and at that point, then they kind of leave, and we kind of get a little scene here of the interview. So someone's rewatching it, and I know it's hard to see, but there is a person to the right there, and we don't know who it is. I originally
knew who it was instantly.
Yeah, see, I assumed it was Bale. But
No, I knew who it was. I was
yeah,
waiting for this character to come into it.
yeah. And then we just kind of finish off Michonne's part of the episode, and she's just kind of walking around, and she kind of goes up this ladder, and she sees the shot of kind of like what she's dealing with, because earlier in the episode, she's like, "Can we take them out? Can we both take them out?" And I think that was like the scene we just saw. And basically, he's like, "No, I don't think we can." And I think this kind of proves to her like this is going to be harder than she thought. But I think with her character is that she's so used to being the underdog on against these bigger, I don't know, these just all these different things that they have to go through all these years. So I think she's thinking, yeah, I got this. That's
I
kind of
just
what I'm
can't
thinking.
see her suited up as a samurai taking down a tank.
You can or can't.
No, I can't. I can't see it. I just
Yeah.
can't see that symbolism of her standing in front of a tank with a samurai sword. That you're not as badass anymore, Michonne. I don't know
Yeah.
where we're going to go with this. It's super intriguing how they ended it. It's like
Yeah.
that shot is epic.
Yeah. Good. All right. So we get back and we see Jadis is in her room, or Rick's room.
She's in Rick's room.
Waiting for him. And we actually see a scene like she's actually going into the room before he even gets there, and she starts drinking his whiskey. I'd be like, "What? What's going on? Why are you taking my whiskey?" And then Rick walks in, and dude doesn't say a word, not a word in the whole. It's all her talking. It's amazing. He just is just she's like, "Yeah, so just let you know, this is like an investigation, and so Michonne found you, huh?" And he's just like, "What?" So somehow she knows, and
Well, she saw what she was watching the camera.
well, yeah, that's true. So she saw the interview, and so I don't know. It's interesting because then she fires out like all these threats. Like, I hope you don't plan on trying to escape. Don't forget, you have people at Alexandria. If you escape, all those people will just kill them. Even the couple I like. And I think that was meant to be was that Father Gabriel? Didn't she have a relationship with him for a little bit?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. And so, yeah, I mean, basically just a bunch of threats from her, and then the big the last sentence of the episode is, "What the F are you doing?" So Rick doesn't say a word. It was so good. It was so good.
Yep. Like, can we just talk about the haircut? Jadis, what are you doing?
Yeah, then looks like
Doesn't suit you.
looks like Jim Carrey from Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, it was a bit strange. Very military-esque.
But yeah, so that was episode 2. A lot of
I
good
think
stuff
Jadis
there.
is going to be a bigger problem than we might first think. But I also think I'm expecting a showdown. Her and Michonne fight to the death. One has to die, one has to live.
So he first met Jadis. She was part of what group? Man.
Oceansiders?
No, it was like
it? I don't
was it
know.
the Scavengers or the Scrappers or
Something like that.
something like that. And we find
I
out
just
later
remember
on
her fighting the tin. I remember her fighting the metal zombie.
the tin walker, right? But we find out later on that she's part of this the
She's an
CRS.
A or a B. She rescued Rick on a helicopter.
Right. Yeah. So she was kind of like, she was kind of doubling down as a double agent almost back then, even. So yeah, she's it'd be interesting to see what they're going to do with her character. The junkyard people. Yeah. Junkyard people, junkyard dog. But
so who do you think's the main antagonist of the show?
So I'm going to be interested. What I want to see now is I want to see Jadis communicating with Major Bale. That's what I want to see, because I want to see where is the structure of leadership here.
What cards does she play? Does she keep things from him?
Right. She kind of, is she below him, but she's working her own little thing? Because obviously it seems like she's she's trying to help Rick for some reasons. But we don't really know her motivation though. Why? Because why would she want to help Rick? What's the whole reasoning behind this? I know she was always like flirting with him and stuff. I remember some of those episodes.
I think
But
that maybe it's just a common face and somebody that she's been around for a long time in the place that they're currently in, because there's nobody else really there that we know.
yeah, it's true. Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe there was. I could kind of feel some sexual tension with them in the room. So I don't know. Maybe he's been
E-
sleeping with her all this time.
Even in this episode, I don't know about that, dude.
I felt it, dude.
Yeah,
And maybe that was what the F are you doing came from. Like, you've been sleeping with me for 6 months. Why are you going back to your bird that's just turned up?
huh? Interesting. I don't know.
Maybe
All
she
I
cut her
know
hair
is
just to look
that
like Rick.
all right. All I know, dude, is that we have 8 votes for the episode. We have. Let's see what the votes were. So A. So it looks like 7 people voted for A. One person again, the D. I want to know who it
It'll be
is.
Blaze.
Blaze. Blaze, why are you ruining my stats?
Blaze doesn't watch it and he's scared of zombies. Sleeps with the light on,
Yeah.
bro.
So Blaze is putting a D because he's scared of zombies. He's jealous.
And
That's
all
Michonne's.
interaction is good interaction, whether it's good or bad, whether it's a like button or the thumbs down.
Yeah. So Poppin thinks that you're on the right track.
Thank you,
All right.
Poppin. I do like to think I am, but I could be way off.
All right. So last week, okay. Well, what well, let's give our grades, and then we'll kind of discuss for a few minutes what we think might be coming up. So last week you gave the first episode, I think it was a 10 out of 10, correct?
Yeah, this is the same, 10 out of 10.
So you
This
give
is
this
a
one.
perfect continuation. I would put them both together. I don't know why you split them. You should have just made it a feature, hour and
Yeah.
a half, hour and 40-minute long episode. I
Yeah.
think that would have gone down better.
See, it would have been cool if this was episode 1 and we still have 5 more. But I mean, obviously that's a
I would,
2 hour.
yeah,
That's a 2 hour episode then. But
I would be happy to have this and then 4 more, and then give us extras and behind the scenes after.
Poppin agrees with you.
Definitely a
A 10
10 out
out
of
of
10.
10.
Yeah.
Last week I gave it a 9.5. This episode I will give it a 9 out of 10. I like the episode. I like the last week's episode just a little bit better because it filled me in with more with what's going to be happening in the season. Where this episode, again, we have characters that at this point no longer matter, which kind of stinks. But we got some great characters. But again, a 9 out of 10. We're still talking at A. So that's what I would give this one. All right.
I also feel like the people that we got introduced into the first character don't really matter. Like Okafor didn't really matter. We got so much
True.
detail from him, and he's
But
gone.
if it wasn't for him, Rick wouldn't be where he is right now. You know
And
what I'm
if it
saying?
wasn't for Nate,
Mhm.
Michonne wouldn't be where she was. I just
True.
see both of them as
True.
the same episode, and they just chopped it in half for an episode.
Well, you're probably right. I mean, going back to those
That's why I vote them both the same.
going back to those dream sequences last week with Rick. I understand why they did that. I mean, I really don't think that has anything to do with the ending of the show. I think that's just that was his dreams, and that was him basically trying to decide, am I going to try to continue to find her, or at some point do I have to give up and just live? So I think that's kind of what the dream sequences were. Because like in the
Let's see if we get any more of them in the next couple of episodes.
The dream sequences.
Or do you think they've stopped now that they've met back up?
Yeah, I don't think we'll have any more.
Okay, interesting.
We'll see. All right, so episode 3 next week. It will be like we saw. So we did see in the preview that Michonne was doing the training like Rick was with the what did Poppin? What'd you call that thing? The big pole. She would twist, but she was twisting it. the whole head comes off. It's fantastic. Did you watch the preview? Did you see that?
No.
Dude, it's hilarious.
No.
Yeah,
I try not to watch the next episode previews because it spoils.
Yeah, I mean they showed like 3 scenes. I mean, but it was pretty cool. It was funny. She takes it and she like rips off the entire the heads instead of just like smashing it. Wheel wizard. So I don't know. Oh, wait, well, what do you think? What do you think we're gonna see next week?
I have no idea, bro. I believe that we're gonna see Jadis teasing Michonne. I think we'll see both of those meet. maybe have a little bit of crosswords between each other, threatening from Jadis towards Michonne. I don't know. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah,
Rick
I'm trying
having
to
to
figure out
maybe
what.
explain his relationship to the big bosses. Maybe they'll find out.
Yeah, I would like to think that we're gonna have some type of conversation about with Jadis and Bale. Like I don't know how you can't have something. Like you gotta kind of let people know a little bit what's going on with those two. And like what exactly is Jadis doing there? Like that's what my biggest question is right now is what exactly is she doing there? Like we know she was a spy for them, but like what part of the leadership is she at? So I don't know. I mean, it's a good show when you don't know what to say. Like I don't really know what my theory would be for the show. Like I'm not really sure where we're going. Um, do you think that they will escape this area by the end of the season?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that this show is going to bring back so many lovers of The Walking Dead that FX and AMC or whoever's making the show are going to have no option but to make season 2. They
Yeah.
told us at the end of The Walking Dead we were getting 3 more limited series, and that was it. And Dead City's been renewed. Daryl's been renewed for season 2, which is called The Book of Carol.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to tell me that the Rick and Michonne one isn't going to be renewed? It is.
And this is
So
by
I think they're
far
going to
the
have to
best
tweak.
one.
I think they're going to have to tweak some of the story that they might have had going into it at the start to prolong. I think at the end of it all, though, it has to end with Rick and Michonne going back to their home and getting their kids. I have to see that at the end.
So you think that's how
Or one of them's dead.
you think that's how it's going to end the season?
Well,
You
that's a
don't think?
happy ending, but
Yeah, I was going to say you don't think it ends in a cliffhanger.
season 1 will end in a cliffhanger. But the story in general,
Yeah.
after it's all said and done, should be reunited with the children.
Did you like Judith as a character though?
Yeah,
Like,
she was okay.
yeah. So if she was in season 2, you'd be fine with that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
if Rick and Michonne escaped and then the CRM somehow went and kidnapped her, that would be cool. That would give me a reason for them to team up and come and get revenge in season 2.
Yeah. Okay. I was thinking about what you said last week about like the Avenger style culmination of all of this. So I was there. I don't want to see anybody over at Alexandria. I don't care. Like, give me the 6. Give me those are the 6 best characters, anyways. What I don't need to see Father Gabriel. Like, if you
No, I
want to
don't think
bring
we'll see
more,
those again.
okay. Like, if you
I
want
think
to bring
it's
in,
the Dead City people, the Daryl people, and the
okay.
Rick CRM people. They will
Like
all come
I
together
just
for a big Walking Dead end game.
and I'd be good with that as long as we don't have to go back to Alexandria and get all those people back into it. All the people that right now I couldn't even tell you what their names are. Like, I don't care. And if you want to do something from Fear, because didn't Morgan leave to go find Rick? And he leave him a message? I feel like that's
Yeah,
like the last episode
Morgan's
I saw.
probably gonna. We're probably gonna see Morgan again.
Yeah. Oh, and think about what she said in the interview. They asked her, "What's your weapon of choice?" And she goes, "A bow staff." I'm like, boom, there's Morgan. Let's go. Like, I
Mhm.
like Morgan. I always thought it was really interesting how he was in the pilot episode, and we don't even see him do it for like 3 more seasons. Then it was kind of
He
nuts.
was a lot. He was
I
in Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah, he was in Fear, but yeah. Well, I'm saying, like, when we first were introduced to Morgan, he was in the pilot episode, and then Rick leaves him after I think his son or wife dies or something, and we don't even see Morgan for like 3 seasons. Then
Mhm.
it was a really interesting thing that they did with that character. But yeah, I know he was in Fear, but I know the last episode of Fear I actually watched. I'm gonna have to go watch the finale of Fear, I guess, and just kind of see what happens. But I think the last episode I watched of Fear is when Morgan left, and he has his radio, and he's leaving a message for like this is like a message for Rick Grimes or something like that. I think he says.
Yep, that's
But I
correct.
think yeah. So I think we see more. I do think we see Morgan in season 1.
No,
You don't think so? Yeah, either do I. I think it's all Rick and Michonne, but I think that Morgan will be back at some point. So yeah, I mean that's cool. I love the idea of the end game type thing. How do they all meet up again? I don't know. I mean, Daryl is in a different country. You know, where's Maggie and Negan supposed to be like right now? Like
New
where in
York,
the
isn't
map?
it? Manhattan.
Are they're in New York. So right now we're in what, Philly? Is that where we are?
Really?
We're in Philly. So
And
that's not too
Idaho's just been blown up.
Omaha.
Omaha, sorry.
Yep. And then so Daryl and Carol will be, I don't know if she's gonna bring him back to the States.
They're in France, aren't they?
France,
I think
yeah.
the CRM are going to be the bad guys in all of it. I think the CRM might end up infiltrating every one of the shows.
Well, you like you said, they were in, well, they weren't in Fear though, right? They were
No,
in
no,
they
not
were in
kind
the
of.
other one. What was the other spinoff?
The World Beyond.
World Beyond. They were briefly in that too, right? Because
Hmm.
Jadis is in that. Yeah, it's in season one. I never
Yeah, she
watched
was in
season
season 2.
two. Oh, she was in season two. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so yeah, I didn't watch season two. Is it not good? Is it worth watching the finale or no?
I enjoyed it, but they cancelled it, so it doesn't go
Right.
anywhere.
Do any of those people even die, or do they just all make it and they just
They kind of all make it,
they just oh
then
yeah,
they cancel the show.
yeah, silly. Okay, I'm good. But all right, I don't know. Anything else for the good of the order? We're at about an hour. I can't think of anything else. I just can't wait the next week, dude. Like I really,
Yeah,
I'm really enjoying it.
I got leaked, so I've watched these for a while, and I've known about these for a while, and now I'm like in limbo because I'm like, where's episode 3? I don't want to watch it.
I was going to ask you at the end of the stream if you had it yet, because I kind of want to watch it
No,
now.
no, I haven't got it.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets released on AM. I just found out today on AMC Plus because we watched it this morning, and I found out that it actually, I guess it's up 15 hours before it goes live on regular AMC. So that would be at like 6 p.m. maybe the night before. So we could have watched it yesterday. I didn't even realize that. So I think next week I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, but off Walking Dead stuff, I have watched Shogun.
Did you watch Shogun?
1 and 2, and I must say I am absolutely adoring it. It's so deep, so full of lore.
Okay. I think that's a show I'm going to watch too, because I think that there's really nothing else out. We started rewatching. Well, we're on Dexter. We rewatched Dexter. We're on season 5.
Don't need a reason to watch Dexter. It's amazing.
Yeah, we're on season 6 right now. And then I wake up yesterday, and my wife's watching The Handmaid's Tale. You ever see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we're already in season 3 on that. We watched like 2 seasons in like 2 days. That's all we've been doing today and yesterday.
So I will say with the Shogun. So the Shogun is Japanese, and you have English subtitles on screen, and you also have English. No, it's 50-50. You have 50 English speaking characters and subtitled characters, but the premise is when you're hearing English, you're supposed to be hearing Portuguese, because the story is of the war in the 1600s between the Portuguese and the Japan.
Okay.
And when you hear English, you're supposed to be hearing Portuguese. It was a change that was made so that more people can understand what was being said. Otherwise, it would have been two foreign different languages.
So it's Japanese and American, basically, or English.
Yeah, Japanese. But the bad people, the 2 people that you meet in the show are Japanese and Portuguese. And then there's English pirates.
So the Portuguese people speak English?
Yeah, but it's you're hearing them speak English, but if you put yourself into the world, the people they're talking to are hearing them speak in Portuguese.
Right. Okay, I understand that. Yeah.
So it's changed for the viewing public to understand.
Gotcha. Yep.
But yeah, give it a go because it's Game of Thrones style. I've watched 2 episodes and I am in. It's deep.
Because that one is on, what is that on?
FX.
That's FX. Okay. Now is there FX? It's not mature then, right?
I would say it's mature.
Okay. All right.
You see heads roll with samurai swords.
Oh, okay. So they're okay. Yeah, I just don't want to watch it if it's dumbed down. Like not dumbed down.
No, it's definitely not dumbed down.
Okay. Because FX has their own. I think who's FX part? Is FX part of Hulu? I think FX might be
No
part
idea.
of Hulu. Now I'll have to look it up. But I know
I
it
can
keeps popping up on my Apple TV, and I'm like, oh man, that looks good. I want to watch it.
Yeah.
I'll be in. Would they all drop at once, or is it weekly?
No, 2 episodes are out.
So the first 2 are out. So when's it
Yeah, and
drop?
what I like about it as well is I don't know when it drops. I think it's Sundays or Mondays. But what I also like about the first episode is it's called Pilot in Japanese. So it's like Nebu or Naibu
Yep.
is the name of the episode, and it's also translated as pilot. But in the
Okay.
show, there is a premise of a pilot with being the guy that is the captain of the ship. They call him a pilot. So there's a play on words, and it's really cool. So yeah, I might even do breakdown videos because I'm super into them.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm definitely gonna watch it. Yeah. All right.
Cool.
Well, I think that's it. We will see you guys next Sunday again for episode 3, 10:15. Just make sure everyone can watch it before we go live. And quick, I did see your comment. Bro, it's a breakdown review. Like you clicked it.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. We love you anyways, though, brother.
Also on Friday over on Randy's channel.
All right. Over at Murder. Oh my God.
Murder. Mystery Madness Collectibles.
Mystery Madness Collect. That's called Murder Mystery. I always want to say Murder Mystery.
And it's Comic-Con month for me, so stay tuned for content because I've got loads of Comic-Con content coming.
Yep. Tomorrow I got a Galaxy Con Richmond is coming in about 2 weeks, so I'm dropping a video on that tomorrow. Tuesday, Transformer NFT Day. Let's go. Be making a video for that. If you haven't checked out Emperor Palpatine video I dropped yesterday, go watch that now before you go to bed. It's really good.
Save your money. Don't buy the Transformers ones and get extra Star Wars when they drop.
No.
Because you know you're going to be broke when Star Wars comes.
Yeah, I know, but I know. Dude, I got to get my Transformers. I want 5 out of the 6.
Somebody clip what I told him so he can, when he's in rehab and he needs to have some positive thoughts sent.
When you see me on Tuesday and during the video, you can just feel for me how much my wallet hurts. But that's I did though. I sold 3 NFTs, 3 series coins I sold. This just to kind of help with it.
Good.
So yeah. Because unfortunately I sold 2 of the Funko Ween ones and I sold my Freddy's Doc Brown from the Back to the Future one.
And are you not in forgetting the $300 fake soda stupid thing?
Dude, so bad. I was gonna do a negative video on it, and I'm like, I'm not even wasting my time on it, dude. It's so bad. I can't believe people are buying
750 of them only, and it's picked by an independent adjudicator on who gets what.
I have no desire. I don't care. Yeah.
Silly.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're out of here. Thank you so much. Keep those heads on. Stay milky, and we will see you guys in the next video. And you better sleep with those lights on.
Bye, Blaze.